Previously on They See Me Rollin. All goblins need to be executed.
I somehow don't think these spider worshippers are actually history yet. Yes, we're looking for Captain Gilbert.
And you see a man approximately 10 feet in height, a long black robe flowing around his body.
Slender Man, isn't it?
Certainly wouldn't want to be in your way. I have a wife who misses me.
Guys.
No, we should hang out.
Courtney was a member of the Blazing Dusk, and we didn't really feel comfortable with how far she was willing to go. She turns to the captain and says, "Let's get you fixed up." Okay, so when we left off, Oliver North had just shot Lowell in the face.
That's true. He's dead.
So,
Show over.
I want to thank Michael Rader for covering for me when I was sick. When I was having poop problems, I think you said it was.
Oh yeah, and I sung part of Boy Problems, but I replaced it with poop.
Yes. Anyway, where we actually left off is you guys went to bed and got a little bit of a rest after bringing in Captain Gilbert.
Yeah, he seemed nice.
He's a good dude. You wake up in the morning. Y'all slept in the living room.
I slept on the lazy boy.
Of course. And you wake up and find Sarah kind of doing some preparations, and she sees you wake up, and she tosses each of you a bag of chips and some water.
Breakfast of champions, mate.
Hell yeah.
She looks at Skumk kind of regretfully and says, "I am so sorry, we have no bugs today."
If I leave these out, it'll attract some. I scatter some chips on the floor.
Hey, man, don't do it in the house. You're gonna get ants.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're gonna give her ants.
She's like, "No, it's fine. Whatever."
Not if I eat them. There's a whole bunch of goblins here. Some of them are starving. There won't be a problem.
So here's the plan. I'm going to handle the questioning. You guys stay out here on guard. I don't expect anyone to show up, but you never know. She then turns around. You see her pick up a closed wooden box. And as she's closing the door behind her to the captain's room, she turns back to you and says, "Please, this is my specialty. I need you to let me work on my own." She then closes the door, and you can hear her speaking from the inside, but the sound is completely muffled. You hear the box open, and then you hear a deep, muffled shout. And then the sound... Yeah, it's like... And then the sound of something heavy hitting the floor.
How hard can it be to question somebody? I ask questions all the time.
After some silence, you hear, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And then you hear rummaging and a loud thumping on the floor as the captain shouts, "Someone help me out of here!"
Did you hear
What
that?
do you do?
He said, "Someone
Listen, dude, you must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. It is the little death.
Le Petit Mort."
I'm eating my potato chips.
I guess I'm the only one here that's Red Dune. Fine.
We understand your reference. We just don't respond to it.
Fine.
You're saying that in real life, we understand the reference. Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not using my super clearly defined character voice that's different from my real voice.
That is a good point. You do sound very different when you... In fact, you sound more different when you speak than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm the only one who has a consistent character voice.
Well,
listen,
Jody has an affectation as Coen. He does that whole, kind of blustery knight kind of thing.
Yes, I do.
I didn't mean to put any of you on the spot, Jelly.
Jelly just has like a naturally deeper voice than what you would normally consider a woman to have.
I think Jelly has a shy, sensuous sound to her.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Same.
You guys basically have heard all this stuff happen inside the room, and he is kind of shouting. There doesn't seem to be any more sound of Sarah speaking or really doing anything.
Isn't she supposed to be questioning?
If I had to guess, I think there's like some psychic stuff going on. I think she's Professor X this thing and gone into his brain.
Yes.
I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, listen, you won't understand. It's a very popular book series where I'm from.
Popular culture reference.
It's from my culture.
Is this some sort of reference to some kind of popular culture?
I'm keeping an eye out to make sure nobody's attacking because that's what I've been
Back
ordered
in the
to
desert
do.
where I'm from, yes, it's very popular.
You continue to hear him shouting, but still nothing from her. He keeps shouting for help or assistance in some way, and you still hear his bed kind of like bouncing around. Well, not bouncing around, but
What's going on in there,
kind of
guys?
Help me, let me go. Please stop useful information to whatever we're doing.
Oh, look, he hasn't said the
Maybe
safe word yet,
that's
so he's
what they want to know.
We have to assume he's enjoying himself.
We actually don't know what they want to know, so I'm sure she's doing what she
Yeah, that's a good point.
is doing stuff, right? Good.
Maybe she's trying to figure out what to say when you want somebody to stop doing something.
you see some. You see like a small like a puddle of water, kind of forming from the door into the room that you're in. The water's just kind of spreading out. It's real thin at this point.
I sniff it.
Guys, you know what I do?
What do you do?
I cast invisibility on myself, and I sneak out into the room.
All right.
You're stepping on my sniff, though. What's this water smell like?
One step on your step, bro.
The water smells like water.
Delicious.
It kind of does have a woody grain, texture to it.
A Woody
because
Allen smell.
because it's on wood. So yeah, go ahead and roll with advantage. for
Finely
stealth.
aged water.
Whoosh. 19.
You managed to somehow sneak into the room without the captain noticing. You see him kind of shaking his bed so he doesn't notice the door quietly open. And do you close it behind you or do you leave it open for Skumk and Coen?
I close it.
All right, you close it. And
I do. Actually, I take this opportunity to use the cantrip message on Coen so I can whisper information quietly to him without anyone noticing.
Why not to me?
that's a fantastic idea. He just likes Coen better than you.
Yeah, I know.
I'll whisper it to you, Skumk. We'll play Goblin Whispers.
So here's what you see. Inside, you find Sarah lying on the floor to the right of the bed with a water pitcher laying next to her and a puddle spreading around her. At a cursory glance, you can see that she's still breathing, but out cold. The captain is lying restrained to his bed, looking significantly better than when you last saw him. At the foot of his bed, to your left, is Sarah's box, and it is open, revealing a number of different brightly colored objects. The captain is still kind of struggling and does not notice that you are there.
I want to walk over that box, careful to not step in any water, and I want to do an Arcana check on those brightly colored objects.
The Arcana check reveals that there are several different schools of magic associated with the contents of the box.
Do I know what those schools of magic are?
All of them.
All of them. Wow.
Yeah, like each one of them has like different. Yeah, there's lots of different schools of magic in there.
I want to do an Arcana check on this water as well.
The water has no magical properties to it.
Let's see. I whisper this. I use a message to relay this information to Coen.
I come bursting in through the door.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
What? You
No, actually, you know
you
what?
just said
I'm not gonna.
you just
step-
told
I'm not
me
gonna
that
do
Sarah
anything.
was
Go ahead.
unconscious.
All right, no,
can't
it's
retcon
happened. You can't take that back. Yeah, Coen is popped in there and he busts in. And do you say anything when you come in, or you just burst in through the door?
I say, Sarah! And run over to her.
All right. You run over to Sarah, and the captain looks at you, and immediately his eyes go wide at recognition and says, "Damn! I should have known you were blazing dusk." He spits at you.
Did he have this accent before?
Well,
He definitely
it's
did have an
Cockney.
accent.
It's shit Cockney coming from me, all right? Well, do your worst. I still have plenty of fight in me.
I say, wasn't it obvious when we kidnapped you? And what have you done with Sarah?
Why don't you ask her?
I go and check on her.
And where's Skumk at this point? Where's Skumk?
I've like casually strolled in.
All right, he looks at Skumk and says, I see you have a pet. Where are your other friends? The two handsome boys who are with you.
Oh,
Wow, he thought we were handsome. That's so
Well,
nice.
They're around. I forget what happened to them. They seem nice, though.
I want to do a medicine check on Sarah, see if she's okay.
You check Sarah out. She's fine. She's breathing, but she is out cold. You do notice a bruise to her head on the eye, like she got hit or kicked or something. She took some sort of blunt trauma. And just went out cold. So she's a little out for the count right now.
I check the captain's face, see if he has a similar bruise. I think he headbutted her.
Oh, and I should mention that you notice in her hand, since even though this is a medicine check, you're fucking checking her out. In her hand, you notice a note, a piece of paper with handwriting on it.
I'm going to heal Sarah with my healing abilities.
All right, you lay hands on her, and she, her eyes flutter a little bit, and she goes, "Oh, mommy, let me sleep." And she turns over, and you hear her snoring.
I disperse. I let go of invisibility, and I just kind of appear in the room.
Okay, you apparate basically, and you hear him go, "Ah! What's this?
Boo!
A demon!
Boo, motherfucker! Boo!"
I wet myself a little. I hate you for that.
Yeah, me too.
Coen, you see in her hand a note that says Sarah's questions for Captain Gilbert. Aside from that, below that, it says in her handwriting, "Gotta follow this series of questions so I don't fuck up the interrogation. Ramona said to follow up each question with no more than one extra question until all 7 questions are asked." And then there are 7 questions.
All right. I want to check out that box of things.
Okay. You check out the box of things, and inside the box you find a small stuffed toy puppy sewn to a leather strap. The puppy feels kind of saturated with some kind of liquid. You also find a corn popper rattle. Those are the little rattles that kids push around that use that have the little balls in there that pop around. You find one of those magic 8 balls that you shake, and then you look through the window to see what the answers are. There's also a children's doctor kit, and inside the kit is a stethoscope, a toy stethoscope, a toy thermometer, a toy sphygmomanometer.
What?
What the fuck is a sphygmomanometer?
The blood pressure cuff and squeezy thing, the bulb.
Oh, okay.
And there is a plastic Band-Aid and 2 plastic syringes.
I take out one of the plastic syringes.
There's plastic in this
And
world?
I lean over the captain and say, "We have ways of making you talk."
One of the plastic syringes is blue, and one of them is red. Which one do you pick?
Which one gets you out of the Matrix? The red one? Then I'll take the red one. It matches me.
So you've got the red.
I'm gonna cast Charm Person.
All right. He fails, and he looks at Skumk, and he immediately goes, "Well, this is unusual. I find myself pleased to see you."
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to hand Skump the list of questions.
Okay.
I look at it.
Can Skumk read?
Yeah, Skump can read.
That's racist.
Yeah, jeez.
I think he said something in an earlier episode
That
about
I might
not
have
being
said
able
that
to
I
read.
can't read. Skunk, he might be able to read. Maybe he knows what it says and he chooses not to understand it. Or maybe he just he can read and he chooses not to.
Willful ignorance.
But he just says, "So, what's your deal?"
Well, right now, my deal is you. I don't know why he lost his accent.
Maybe he was faking it.
You charmed his accent off.
Oh.
Jelly leaves the room.
All right, so it's Jelly's turn.
Well, I got all this shit, and apparently it's magical. Did the Arcana check tell me what school of magic each of these objects are from?
Dude, I have no fucking clue. I didn't look up the schools of magic for each one of these spells I put on them. I'm so
Fine.
sorry. All right?
Fine.
It doesn't fucking
Fine.
matter anyway.
Okay, fine. If you say so. All right, then I take one of the. I take the stethoscope, and I put it in I put the things in my ears, and I take...
Hey, we're trying to have a conversation here, okay?
All right, you put the stethoscope on where? His chest?
I put it to his forehead.
To his forehead? Okay.
And I say, "Wow, tell me, what you doing with those bodies? Also, what's your favorite color?"
He looks at you and says, "Who are you? Who the hell? What the hell do you want?"
Well, I want you to answer my questions. I thought that was obvious by me asking them.
Can I keep talking to my friend? We're just trying to have a casual conversation.
Through your stethoscope, what you hear is, "What's happening here? I'm really scared."
Aw, he just wants a
I
friend.
can read his mind.
I'm just going to pick Sarah up, and I'm going to take her outside and put her on the lazy boy and make sure she's comfortable, and then I'll come back in.
Okay.
So, where you from? What you been up to lately?
He looks at you and he bats his eyelashes a bit, and he's back to that smooth, sexy voice and says, I'm from Waterdeep. Been going around killing goblins."
I've been to Waterdeep. It's a charming place, especially their porn store.
We don't talk about that, Skumk. We don't talk about that.
Great sandwiches.
He just smiles and winks at you.
I keep the stethoscope on his forehead, and I say, whatever you do, do not think of who your daddy is and what he does.
Immediately, he's like, "I'd never tell you anything about my daddy."
Me neither.
And what you hear is,
That's bullshit, okay? Immediately you think of who your daddy is and what he does.
no, that's what he says. What you end up hearing in your stethoscope is, "She'll never find out that my daddy is Caleb Moosefoot, the Lord of Thornhold."
Oh, sweet. Okay. Alright, his daddy is Caleb Moosefoot? Do I know who that is? Do any of us know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
He's the Lord of Thornhold.
Me
Well,
neither.
do we know anything about his reputation is more of what I'm asking.
No, you just know that he is the Lord of Thornhold. Thornhold is a small hold or whatever you call those places that are not exactly a kingdom, just west of the Sword Mountains on an island.
Okay.
So like Winterfell.
I gotcha. It's his dad is given reign over a small bit of territory, but he answers to a higher authority.
Like
Right.
a count,
Like a lord.
for example. You think he has actual moose feet?
I say, guys, can we gather around and have a little huddle to discuss this for a moment? I think there is some importance in the order in which these questions are asked. I think there may be something more going on here than just... Because these questions are very simple. Like, we know his name. The question one is, what is your name and rank? We know that. And,
Wait, do we know his name?
well, it's Captain Gerbilface, and his rank is Captain because it's in his name.
What's your name?
No, I have a feeling, guys, that we need to make him answer these questions in this order. It seems to be some kind of special rite or something. I don't know. This is just a hunch. And I could be completely wrong.
What's your name and
God
rank?
damn it!
He looks at you and says, "Louis Gilbert, I'm a captain."
Hey, Louie.
He winks at you again, and then he licks his lips.
What's your mission, dog?
Well, with the exception of you, of course, my mission is to eradicate all goblins to the south of the Sword Mountains.
Jelly is blushing.
I roll the rattle around on him.
So you pick up the rattle and roll it on his chest? Okay, so this is
Yeah.
this is what happens. As you roll it on his chest, the balls pop inside, and one of them ends up falling on his chest, and as it falls on his chest, it burns his skin. And just it kind of like melts in and sizzles on his skin and does
Wow.
Ah, sorry.
it does 3 damage to him. He screams, "Ah!" And then he looks at you and goes, "What the hell are you doing to me?" And his charm is now broken.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I pat him gingerly on the chest.
Well, I will, I'll pick up that blue syringe and I'll inject him with it.
You inject him with the blue syringe?
And I'm going to ask the question.
Hold on. As you inject him with the blue syringe, he smiles a bit. He's like, "Oh yeah, that felt." And he goes, "Oh yeah, that felt real. I can't fucking do a Cockney experiencing pleasure."
All right.
Oh yeah.
That felt good.
He's like, "Oh yeah, that feels good."
All right.
All right, that feels real good. And he gets healed. And that blue syringe is now empty, by the way.
Damn it.
I say, whose orders are you following?
He looks at you and responds, I'm following the orders of Jack, the King's steward, and also Chancellor Andy. These were royal orders given to him by the King.
Well, that's just perfect now, isn't it?
I don't like anybody who has just one name, like Jack.
Do I have access to his arm, Stan?
His arms are restrained to the bed. They're tied down, like less than a foot's worth of motion with them.
Can I put the strap around his head?
No, that's not. It's not wide enough to fit around his head. It's just a toy. So it's just a toy one.
I don't think that's how it works.
Can I put it around his foot?
Okay.
Okay, I put it around. Can I push it up to his leg, like his calf?
Only a little bit up his calf.
You could put it on his arm.
I shimmy it up there, and I.
That's a good question, though. Why would you not put it on his wrist or his arm? Just out of curiosity. It doesn't really matter, but
His arms are tied.
They can still be accessed.
So are
by
his legs.
you can still wrap a thing around it.
Wait a minute. This thing like comes up. So this thing comes apart in two pieces, and then I can put them back together.
Have you
No,
ever
it's one-
seen
it's
a
a
blood
strap
pressure
that
cuff,
you
dude?
wrap around and has Velcro on it.
It's Velcro.
I've been to a doctor in 15 years. Excuse me. Okay, fine. I put it around his arm, and I pump it.
All right. You notice on the pump that there is a dial that can spin right or left. Do you choose to use it?
Yes.
All right. Which way do you turn it, and how far do you turn it? You can turn it very far or a little.
Why not? I turn it very far to the right.
All right. You turn it very far to the right. You see his body just flush red, and his eyes squint, and he starts screaming, "Oh, what a terrible headache! Oh, such pain!" And he takes some damage.
You and me both, buddy.
And I ask him, what is the purpose of your mission?
"I ain't telling you shit! Oh, God, this is such terrible pain. Fine, I'll tell you the purpose of this mission. The purpose of this mission is to steal all their money."
Really?
That seems like
That's
some bullshit.
Really?
You're gonna steal a bunch of goblins' money.
Really?
Sure.
Our money is like acorns
Bugs.
and little rocks. It's a really unstable economy.
I flip the dial to the middle.
All right, you see his body stop. You know, the flesh disappears. He returns to being his normal color, and he takes a deep breath, and he's like, "Oh,
Why do you want goblin money?
we don't."
So what's the purpose of this mission?
The purpose of the mission is to make a new castle and city for the king's daughter, Anne Marie, and her new husband, Count James.
Goddamn gentrification at it again. We found our true enemy, gentrification. I guess I'm done.
Goblins? There's no castles around here.
Why they said they're gonna build a new one, dumbass.
Goblins don't live in castles usually. What are you doing with?
Wait a minute. Do something with the doll.
I wave it around in front of him
He looks at it.
and say, "What you doing with the bodies?
He's like, "What the?"
What bodies is this referring to? The goblin bodies?
Read it as wrote.
I did, but I don't
I love how he's
understand the
asking all these in
question.
character.
Do something with the strap, you jackass.
What are you doing with the body?
Strap the doll to him.
I'm waving the doll around more and more frantically.
Like he's a little kid.
Good fucking God. I walk over to Skumk and I snatch the doll from his hand and I strap it to him.
I think you should pretend like the doll is asking the questions. Hey, little boy, what you doing with it? Sorry.
God damn it, I'm traveling with a bunch of fucking morons.
It would appear that way.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. All right, so he looks at this ridiculousness that's happening in front of him and just scoffs.
All right. Well, I'm going to use the red syringe then.
Okay.
If you're not going to answer that question nicely, we'll jack you up with something and see what happens.
I want to hear him answer the question so that I can parse the question better. It might give me a clue of what it means.
That does 10 damage to him.
God damn.
And as you inject him with the plastic syringe, the site where you touch the plastic tip to turns bright red, and you just see this red streak flow throughout from his arm to his head, to his heart, and just all over his visible body. It's like his veins are glowing, and just he feels the searing pain, and he just screams, "Ah!" And he looks at you, Coen, and he's just trying to just get at you and hurt you, and he's just stuck, and he's rattling around in his bed, and he's just frothing at the mouth with the anger that he's feeling towards you.
And I say, answer the question.
He's like,
I don't think we should have ended with this one. It seems like a bad note to do the last question.
Well, maybe if you give him the doll to cuddle, it'll make him feel better.
yes.
Yeah, I do that. Well, I give him the doll.
Okay, so this doll, you said that it has a strap on it?
Yeah, it has a strap, and the doll is in the center.
Okay.
And it's a toy dog.
Yeah, it's a little stuffed puppy dog, and it's soaked with fluid.
Just like a real dog.
I strap it to his forehead, I guess.
You strap it to his forehead, and the fluid kind of drips down his face.
Aw, that's cute.
And I ask him, what are you doing with the bodies?
He's just looking up at the
Seriously.
the dog that's now pressing against his forehead.
Okay, fine. I reach out and I squeeze the doll so that the liquid comes out, I guess.
Well, the liquid's already pouring down his face, and he's kind of blinking it in his eyes.
Wait a minute. I have an idea. I unstrap it from his face and I stuff it in his mouth and strap it to his mouth.
All right, there you see his eyes suddenly relax a lot. Ooh. And he's like, he just, as the fluid goes into his mouth from the soaked dog, he's like, yeah.
I take it out of his mouth, and then I ask him the question again, what are you doing with the bodies?
What bodies?
The bodies. The goblin bodies.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. They're being transported to the Royal Forensic Sexbed.
The what?
Royal Forensics Expert. There's your
You said
follow-up.
Sexpert.
I thought you said Royal Forensic Sexbed.
I was like, what the fuck, Stan? You took this in a direction I was not expecting.
Oh, this is definitely going a direction I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But fair enough.
What's that?
What's what?
The Royal Forensic Sexbed.
Do you really ask him the Royal Forensic Sexbed?
No, I ask him the Royal Forensic Sexpert because that's what I heard.
The Royal Forensic claims to be a sexpert, but if there's a degree on his wall, I've never seen it.
He looks at you and he says, "Oi, the Royal Forensics expert is the person who does the autopsies on their bodies and allows us to figure out how we can further manipulate goblins." I'm amazed that none of you are using the magic 8-ball.
Oh, I forgot about the magic 8-ball.
I shake the magic 8-ball and say, is this happening anywhere else?
So, in the window of the 8-ball, you see, can't let him die. A magic light pops out from the ball. Well, it's actually a little fountain of glitter pops out of the ball and then makes its way over to Captain Gilbert's face and then goes right down his throat.
I'm loving this. Ooh.
And it heals him.
And does he answer the question?
He does not answer the question, but he looks a lot better.
And then I'm going to cast the command spell and say, answer.
All right. He looks at you and he says, what was the question?
Is this happening anywhere else?
No. However, it has already happened elsewhere. A swamp east of Waterdeep. Goblins have been cleared. The land will also belong to Anne-Marie.
Oh, shit. That's where I'm from.
You okay, Skumk?
I pat Skump on the back and kind of try to console him.
I reach out to console him, and then I realize I'm about to touch Skumk, and I jerk out of the way.
God.
Huh.
And just say, there, buddy. Well, just kind of patting the air around him.
I'm sorry to hear that, Skunk.
Skunk is not outwardly reacting strongly. He's just he looks kind of dazed.
I say, if you want to get vengeance, I'm with you all the way.
I'm not really a vengeance type guy, but I think that we should murder all of these humans.
That's literally vengeance.
I'd be down with that. They're not very nice.
Well,
they're an embarrassment to my race.
more like an example, but whatever.
From the other room, you hear some rummaging, and you hear Sarah's voice going, Mom? Oh, wow, what a dream.
Poor Sarah.
Whoa. And you kind of hear her just slowly getting up from where you lay her down.
Mm-hmm. So she clicks the lazy boy into the upright position, and it kind of boosts her onto her feet.
Oh.
I take the blood pressure gauge off of the captain, and I put it on her, and I flip it to the left and start pumping it.
Oh, this is risky.
Oh, you put it to the left? Okay. She goes unconscious again.
Oh, God damn it!
That lowers people's blood pressure.
I thought that would work. I quickly take it off.
You better flip it back to normal.
I flip it back to normal and I start pumping it.
As I'm watching this, I'm I have the rattle again, and I'm idly pushing it on his chest again.
How many balls do you let pop out of it?
Whatever. I'm not paying much attention to
Let's
it.
say 3 balls
I'm
pop
just
out.
kind of spaced out.
You cause him 6 damage. He's just screaming. Ah!
Huh?
Ah!
Oh, sorry. I just turn it over instead so that all of them fall down on him.
And that'll be another 12 damage to him. Yes.
Sorry. Whoops.
Welcome to Trump's America, guys.
I have to ask, are we the baddies in this situation?
In some ways.
I'm not sure.
So you fixed her back up with the blood pressure gauge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She wakes up and she's like, "Oh, hey guys! Oh wow, what happened? Did I finish?"
Not really, but we finished it for you. It's okay.
You finished it for? Oh my God! Did you do the questioning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's fine.
She runs in there.
Well, not fine, but
I think we would have had to go pretty overboard in order for him to have died during this.
She looks at him and she sees the welts on his chest and some of the little burns left from the injection that Coen gave. And she's like, "Oh my God, you guys! Oh my God!"
We sort of used trial and error.
And okay, all right. So I guess we're done with him.
I liked the nicer ones better.
Does she want to know the answer to the questions, or was that not really the point of all this.
Oh no, she's like, hold on a second. You got all the answers, right?
Yeah, I wrote.
Yeah.
All right, hold on one sec. She pulls out her wand and she casts a petrification spell on him. It doesn't turn him into a rock. It just paralyzes him or puts him in a stasis. And she's like, okay, great. I'm gonna send him back to Waterdeep with
freezes him in carbonite.
Yeah, basically. She's like, I'm gonna send him back to Waterdeep with a thank you note. Oh God. Oh, what? So what did you learn?
Something about a princess.
We relay all the information to him. Lord Moosefoot
Yeah,
or something.
we're not going to run through it
Something
all.
about-
Let's pretend
yeah,
we
you
told
say
her.
you tell her everything.
Captain Lord
And she's
Moosefoot
like-
or something.
Yes, we tell her
She's
everything.
like,
They massacred goblins somewhere. I forget.
she's like,
We think they killed Skump's
oh
family.
God, that's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, that's...
all this
You
for
sound a lot like Owen Wilson right now.
all this for her princess? Oh my God, that's so stupid. There's got to be
It's pretty gross.
there's got to be more to it. That's why would you kill an entire? And what did you say they were doing with the bodies?
Putting him on a sex bed.
On a sex
Yeah,
bed.
giving them to the sex bed.
That's extremely dark. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it might be darker than we intended to go.
You hear her knocking on the door. She turns around. She's like, "Oh my God, who's
in.
that?" And at the door, you see Courtney. She looks absolutely terrified. And next to her is Ramona, who's holding her hand.
I wander out the door.
Okay.
just walking aimlessly.
I go over to the cave where the other goblins are.
And Courtney is just like I said, she is pale white, and she looks at Jelly and Coen and Sarah, obviously not Skumk, and she goes, "I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Do tell.
I was just trying to fight them. I didn't mean to. You need to come back to my tavern and help."
Yeah,
Sure thing.
we can do that.
Okay. And Ramona says,
Oh, hey, Ramona. Haven't seen you in ages. How you been?
yeah, she's like, "Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Ramona.
I hear you did some good stuff."
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got the guy.
We did some pretty bad stuff,
Oh,
too.
and-
we did some really bad
Hey,
stuff.
you know, moral ambiguity is part of resistance.
I killed a lot more people.
Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. Well,
Actually, I'm kind of alright with it now. I get this strange buzzing sensation in the pit of my stomach whenever I do it. That's not entirely unpleasurable.
she grabs your hand and pats it, and she goes, "I knew you'd come through. Good job." and she goes,
We knew you'd learn to enjoy killing.
she's like, "All right, I'm going to stay here. If you could go with Courtney." I found her just kind of walking around over here, and she was in a total daze. Just take good care of her and see what's going on at her tavern. She can barely talk.
Oh, yes, Courtney, let's go.
course.
We call Skumk over from the goblins.
Anything for a friend. We're friends, right?
I stick my head down the goblin hole and go, Skumk!
Well, they're in a cavern, and Skumk, did you actually make it all the way to the cavern?
Yeah.
All right.
We're hanging out, playing dice.
All right. Well, first, Yerp
back-
sees you
playing baccarat.
because we gotta have the cavern scene. Yerp sees Skumk and goes, "Buddy, it's been a long time. I'm glad to see you.
Actually,
This
it
guy.
hasn't.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going. You know, it couldn't possibly be better. I mean, sure, I guess it could be. I mean, all of us could still be alive." But, you know, given the circumstances, it's pretty great over here. You
In
got
the
to check
grand
out this
scheme of
cave.
things, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
This is a nice cave.
it is a nice cave.
I think there's like moss on the ground.
yeah.
Some places.
Oh, there's moss everywhere. There's. It's really dank. Lots of.
You find any bugs?
Oh God, you have no idea what kind of buzz. It's big and juicy and very feral. Come, here we got there's the eating wall if you want to eat.
Sure. I'll
And
have a
he
snack.
he points to a wall where there's just a bunch of roaches just running around, beetles and crickets.
I eat some and then I grab a couple of them and say, "Hey, let's make them race."
He's like, "That sounds great." And I guess that's when
Yeah, guys, who wants in on this?
and a bunch of goblins are like, "Oh, we do," and they all kind of gather around. And at this point, that's when Coen shows up.
Coen, you want to race?
I just sing out, we need to go, Skump. Come on.
Okay, here, I hand my cockroach to a child to, let him take my place.
And the child smiles up at you and goes, "Ah, thanks."
Oh God, let's never
Mini
let's never meet this character again, please.
I want to meet that character.
No.
That sounds
I
hilarious.
cast Firebolt in the cave and kill that kid.
Hey, does anybody want to come with us?
Oh, shut up, you.
I appreciate the
Does anybody
offer, buddy,
wanna
but I
come?
gotta take care of these people. I think I'm the
okay.
only one who'd be up to it, but I'm also the only one who can take care of them. So
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah, but
I'll go.
but not without a hug first, buddy.
Aw, thanks.
And you guys embrace, and he pats you on the back, and he's like, "I missed you. Come back again."
Coen and Jill are just hanging out in the front of the cave, like, how you doing?
Just shooting the shit.
According to Goblin Custom, I individually say goodbye to everybody in kind of a slow, drawn-out way, and then I leave.
Coen, the production history of A Very Full House, Coen, was met with a lot of difficulties in the early seasons. Like, they were constantly...
And
yeah?
Cohen sneaks right past you guys.
Okay,
I'm not
now
Coen, but
I
Skumk.
come.
All right. So you guys walk down the road, and as you arrive at Courtney's tavern, she takes a deep breath, a deep gasp, and you see exactly what's upsetting her. You see her tavern barely, because it is covered in spiders and webbing.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is Stan.
Hey, it's Jody.
Don't steal my thunder. I'm Ivan Kleck.
Hi, it's me, Trevor Gibson. I'm holding this thunder in my hand like the god Thor.
And we are here to tell you about things that we like. And I'm going to start first. I found a new D&D podcast that is probably better than us, but you didn't hear that from me. It's called Dames and Dragons.
What's this voice you're doing, Stan?
It's my advertiser voice.
Don Draper, you are not, sir.
It's his voice for the brand new podcast, Things We Like. It's a great podcast. I think it's doing a really good job of presenting the narrative in a compelling way that's not, like, reliant so much on action.
There is a lot of
That's
action
the
in
thing.
it,
The
though.
action is used to relay information about the world she's created in a way that feels natural, which I really like. Also, I have to say, Corbin is my favorite character.
Yes.
Yeah.
The oldest 16-year-old ever.
They're all, though, very funny.
Hello, I'm Corbin.
I cracked up with Fart Hand
Forgot about Fart Hand.
and the poking with the stick.
Also, like that other crow.
Oh no, when she was tapping them with the stick, that was great.
I'm really pissed off at that other crow, guys.
Yes, their use of language as they speak is very funny. I love listening to this show. I look forward to it. It's every Monday for a while, and then it's going to go to a fortnightly schedule, so check it out. And they have said some very nice things about us on their show.
They specifically said that it's perplexing and good that Skumk exists.
That's a pretty accurate summation of Skunk's character.
So check out Dames and Dragons. Good stuff.
I also have to say, just really quickly, the art that they've been posting on the
Oh
characters.
shit, dude. Well,
Oh,
they're artists.
That's fucking.
They say in the first episode they went to an
Yeah,
art school.
I wish
right?
any of us
It's
were
so
as good at that.
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Oh, real quick on that note, shout out to Gio for that sweet fan art he did. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
I'm
Jill.
in
flipped my
jail.
shit when I saw that. That was awesome.
You can follow JL at Kemi on Twitter. That's Kemi, Chemi, Kazi, Khazi.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page if you haven't checked it out.
Or, speaking of which, check it out on our Tumblr, which I made, TSMRcast.
Speaking of other social media platforms, you can check it out on our Twitter page, TSMRcast, where I posted that and gushed over his awesome fan art.
Awesome. And chat up Martin while you're on there. Or Martin.
Again, I cannot...
Chat up Trevor while you're on there.
I cannot state this enough. I'm so lonely over there. So alone. So alone.
And we've got other friends of the show that we want to shout out. Right, Jody?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to our buddy Jordan, who hit us up on the Facebook page. He has a great podcast called War and Beast.
Vor and Beast?
Boar and Beasts?
War and Beast. A good pun. Good bad pun. Where they are watching the 90s TV series Beast Wars and giving a full recap of it. And
Dude,
having a
guys,
laugh
I just want to say, if you ever need a guest for that episode, for your podcast, I'm so in. I loved Beast Wars when I was a kid. That was my shit.
Cool. I never watched it in my life.
I recall seeing it. It was CG just shortly, I think, after reboot. So it's like really, really crappy.
It's amazing,
But-
Stan. I love it so much.
I can imagine that the show is fantastic.
Optimus Prime turns into a gorilla, dude. It's awesome.
So check out War and Beast.
I just want to say I heard that as Vor and Beast.
Me too.
Oh, that sounds
Zore.
awesome.
And that would be a whole other podcast. That's my secret podcast, only available on a Tumblr.
Hey, that is like joke stealing right there.
What?
The Secret Vor podcast.
Oh, shit. Is that going to be my thing during the plugs? I'm going to steal a joke from Griffin McElroy every episode.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to our show and listening to our shout outs to our friends and people we like. Goodbye.
Our music was done by Ron Lubavitch, and this episode will be edited by probably Stan Ferguson. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Oh, damn it. You threw it on me.
All right, stop recording.
It's you or him. I'm not doing it.
I am recording right now.
I was about to say on a scale of 1 to 10, let's clap it down.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I give that clap a 5.
Let's all
Listen,
say
you've done better work,
what
let's be
number
honest.
we'll clap at as we're counting up.
We will count down from 3 as usual. So 3, 2, 1.
Just a quick factual note. This podcast was in fact edited by me, Jody Doyle. Thanks, Stan.